What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Hatch, the new podcast on my channel. My name is HatchetOrHatch, a streamer on Twitch, and I'm here with Tranhlee. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hey, I'm a Tranhlee, and I'm a Twitch, a streamer, hashtag a YouTuber, and yeah, I do variety streams, and yeah, I'm glad to be here on your video.
That's great to hear. Thank you for being here. We're gonna talk about everything like stream related and our personal experience around it. We're gonna explain what is streaming in general, how we combine it with our full time job, and if it's our full time job, how does it differ from like the part time streamer and like many more things. So keep tuned for that one. I want to first start with what is streaming in general. Lee, can you explain me what does streaming mean for you in general?
Yeah, sure. So when I have to explain streaming to friends or family, I often say that streaming is like being on a stage. So you have a stage and you have a setting, for example, a game that you're playing. And then while you are in the setting, you tell stories. It can be funny stories, sad stories, life stories, romantic advice. You can talk about basically anything on that stage. And people will find that stage and they will either listen to you or not.
Yeah. Well, I can certainly agree with you. When I explain it to friends and family, it's all about streaming on a platform like Twitch is about connecting with people with the same interests. So it can be in all different subjects. It's not about like the thing you're streaming. It's not about the game you're streaming. It's about the connection you have with your viewers and the chat and sharing the same interest. And if you're playing a game, you can play together. It's like the interaction you have with them. So that's what's streaming about. What makes streaming different from like television. There's a two-way connection.
It's like internet 2.0, like it's input and output. It's not just like watching a video or watching television where you can't influence the content that is happening on the screen, but you actually, because of the interaction you have with your viewers live, they can have influence on what happens, what the content in the end will be like. So so you can kind of plan it out, but it's also like a lot of improvised. Again, it's like on a stage, like you never know what happens, and I think that's like something that's super fun about it.
That's exactly how it is. And I mentioned there's like so many different of contents. You have gaming, music, art, cooking, and also ASMR, which is ASMR. The last one is actually very big on YouTube right now. I'm not sure if it's like big on Twitch or anything, but I know there are a million followers on that specific team. Gaming is really big on Twitch right now, and besides that, you have like the music, art, and cooking streams. But we are both gaming streamers, so our content is mainly gaming or just chatting, which is also a specific subject on Twitch. What introduced you to streaming? Like who got your first follow ever, or
Yeah.
do you still remember when you entered Twitch for the first time?
Yes. That's a very good question. Yeah, I did find Twitch back in 2013, 2014, and I was watching like horror streams. And that's also what my kind of content was in the beginning. I was doing a lot of like horror related stuff. I played 2D horror. I had been forced to play 3D horror as well. I hate 3D horror. I hate horror. The fun thing is I hated horror in general. So I got into like streaming or watching streams about horror movies or horror games, and that was super exciting. And I then started streaming like for myself, like in earnest. I started streaming in 2020 because of the corona pandemic, and people asked me, like friends, real life friends asked me, hey, why don't you play that like on Twitch and on stream? And I was like, yeah, sure, I can play that. It was like a horror game, Corpse Party. You know it as well.
Mm-hmm. Great
And
game,
yeah,
by the
that's
way.
yeah,
Would recommend
great game.
anyone.
yeah, and that's how I ended up on Twitch. Yeah.
No, that's great to hear. Yeah, me as well. I got introduced to Twitch in about like 5 years ago in 2016 or something, or 15, maybe a little bit earlier. Like I don't really remember my first encounter with Twitch or any streaming, but I do know my first stream I ever watched was a Dead by Daylight streamer, a game what I played myself a long time ago for a lot of hours, and yeah, that introduced me to Twitch, and not specifically to streaming in general. Like I watched him a lot, and after a while I thought like I could like create the same thing because I'm enjoying this game as much as he does, and if he can do it, I can probably do it the same. So I installed OBS Studio, and I thought like let's stream this, and I think that was back in 2017, but I never actually launched this first stream because I didn't know how the software actually worked. I didn't get my game in there and stuff, so it was kind of hard to start off. But he actually inspired me to start streaming in some way or another, but I didn't start streaming till 2020, not specific to the corona pandemic, but it certainly helped me like spend my free time more on streaming and YouTube, because everything closed down in the end of the year, so it was kind of
did you in the end stream Dead by Daylight? Just
yeah. I streamed Dead by Daylight a couple of times, but I stopped streaming it because I was too focused on winning the games and stuff, so I didn't pay any attention to my chat. So the thing I mentioned, what is streaming about? It's about the interaction with your community. I didn't have the interaction because I was so focused on like winning that game that I just ignored everyone who was on my second screen chatting to me, which made it like it made it like television, a one-way connection. Or somewhat, but the viewer was talking to me, but I wasn't talking back.
I know. I said that my first stream was like Course Party, but my actual first stream, and this is like something I'm very ashamed of. is League of Legends.
Oh,
and I had the exact same problem because I was super toxic, and I hate being toxic on stream because like I'm not that kind of streamer. Like I'm not like those big streamers that are like screaming at the screen like, oh you noob, like how could you do that, why did you do this and that, and I disliked it very much. And then I was like, okay, I want to play single player games, and one of my friends told me then about Course Party.
I also don't want to be that toxic streamer, because in general I'm known as the kind of nice guy that's actually pretty chill. But like competitive games bring the bad sides from me up the surface, and that's like
it's the same.
It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. In my opinion.
I think what people like about those streams are the reaction from the person, and that like a similar reaction can be triggered by horror games. That I think that is why like horror games are also a very 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 big thing on Twitch or gaming streams, because like you don't yell like, oh you're so bad or something, but you're like, oh my god, like what the hell, like
but that's the whole thing about streaming. As we mentioned earlier, it's all about interaction. So if you're giving a certain reaction to a sound effect or a game or an event, what's happening, and people see you interact with that certain thing, people will laugh about it because they think it's funny that you got jump scared, or you got scared by the sound effect they put into your chat, or anything else. They are not watching you or the game for the game. They're watching the game because you are part of it. You are playing the game, and you are like you are the entertaining value, and the game you're playing or whatever you're doing is the side product. They're watching a stream for a person, and that's, I think, something streamers in general should always remember, especially when you're starting out. Like the game you're streaming is not that important. You have to choose your games wisely because it will determine where in the list you are, but in general just play whatever you like. In the end, you are the one that's making your stream interesting. You are the
Exactly.
person that's making the
Yeah.
stream entertaining and interactive, and not the game itself.
That's I cannot agree more with you. That is 100% my opinion as well. Like the game can be an eye catcher, a first like invitation for viewers to come in to find you, but in the end they will stay because of you as a person, and because of your content that you make. So if you're only sitting in front of the screen and you don't talk to your viewers, you only concentrate on playing the game, not a lot of people will want to watch that.
That's why just chatting is one of the biggest, or it is actually the biggest subject on Twitch. People
Yeah,
are there to interact with a person. They're not there to watch just empty footage of a game. Because if they
yeah,
want to, they can go to the release, like to the trailer of a game, and then watch that. Just chatting is like the biggest. And as you have said, like I think out of recording, just chatting wasn't an existing thing till like a few years back,
yeah,
because just chatting, it was, you had to create content, and content was like relay was based on a game. Just chatting
yeah,
couldn't be
yeah,
content in the eyes of a platform like Twitch. So
yeah,
they, like, yeah, you can explain it better than I do, because you
yeah,
actually told me about it. So go
yeah,
ahead,
yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah. I so what I was talking about earlier was that Twitch started out as a gaming platform, which is controversial, or not controversial, but like the funny thing is like it evolved after, or it evolved out of Justin TV, who did a lot of like in real streams. He did gaming streams, in real streams, etc. But then it became Twitch, and then Twitch was a gaming platform, and you had to be playing a game to not be banned from Twitch.
Yeah, exactly.
and and then people who did like focus on this just chatting aspect, or like the interaction between viewer and streamer more, they then changed, like they changed, because normally you have like the big game screen, and then you have like your screen like in the corner, and they just switch it up, so they had their screen, like their face, on the big screen, and then just in the corner they had a game, because then Twitch couldn't say like it's not about the gaming, because you had like a
Yeah.
small corner where the game would play. And then they would do like just chatting streams, talk to you, do art streams and everything. And it's fun because now, like, out of this just chatting, that's like what's the greatest about it. It's independent of the time. You have like in the morning you have like breakfast streams, at night you have like deep talk or drinking streams and stuff like that. And it's no matter what time it is, there's always um, like just chatting streams. For example, if it's night for us, there are a lot of horror streams. But if it's early in the morning, there's not going to be any horror streams.
But
Exactly.
like the main thing, just chatting, you can do whatever. You can talk about everything while doing something else. You can ramble about anything while cooking, or while painting a painting, painting a painting, and
Yeah.
and um it all fits in that same category. You also have the subcategories of music, gaming, art, cooking, everything. But just chatting, it fits everything. You can yeah, you can even game while chatting. That's how it originated. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway, you started streaming yourself. I started streaming myself. Um I've been streaming for about 9 months right now, so we're nearing 1 year for me. But you are even closer to 1 year, because you
Yes.
are a 1 year streamer, and at the end of March, which is this month.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. 28th of March 2020, I started with streaming, and I
Mhm.
started streaming again like with like 2D horror RPGs, that then evolved into like also 3D horror games like Outlast. I hated that game. People do totally want me to play Alien Isolation, which I would dislike. Yeah. I saw someone else play it, and I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, so I did start streaming with a lot of horror games, And back then I had like right now you can see like my PC here from which I stream, but back then I started with a laptop, and I only had the laptop camera. And actually, the only two things that I bought for a long time, the only two things that I bought for the stream to improve the stream was a microphone and a webcam, because the quality of my inbuilt laptop webcam was so bad. And again, we
Mm-hmm.
talked about how important it is to see a reaction from the streamer,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
You watched it because of the reactions and everything, and my webcam was so bad, and like if I jumped up, you couldn't see anything anymore. Like now I have like the freedom, I can move around and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I can move the camera as well, but you can't like move your webcam around, right?
Yeah,
So it's a bit weird.
exactly. Like your angle was
Yeah,
very limited and the quality was so
yeah,
bad you couldn't like determine if your face was like very happy or angry or sad. It's like the
exactly.
face expressions were there. Fun that you talk about your setup, because when I started, I just first of all I didn't have a laptop like now. I actually have a dedicated gaming laptop. Some people are actually like very surprised that I game on a laptop. Um, I like the portable to be able to move it around. Sometimes I watch movies on it, so I have to connect it with my television and stuff. But it works fine, and I can actually play games on a very high quality as well. But when I started, I only had my laptop and my monitor, and that's it. And I had my room light and a desk light.
Yeah,
And if I like, you probably believe me instantly, because lighting is so much more important than the quality of your camera. Lighting changes everything, and I knew that from the get-go. I watched some videos on YouTube about how to improve your quality of stream, and of course quality goes with experience. So you as a person, like you evolve into streaming. The longer you do it, the better you become. So my first streams were like non-interactive at all. I was just there in the corner on the webcam. I was playing a game, silence as hell. Nothing
you
like
just
I
existed.
existed. I was there and I
Yeah,
was playing a game, and there was nothing happening. Even when people said hi, I didn't respond to the hi because I didn't read the hi, because I didn't even like consider watching my chat. But that's something you can evolve. You can learn and you get more experience, so you will become more interactive. But the setup, I think it's really funny because I'm gonna just take it with me. It's right there in the corner.
and that is me with
This
the lights on. Yeah,
was actually my first like spotlight, my first
yeah.
ever thing that lighted my face, and it's just a desk light with crafting paper and duct tape. But it's just the fact that I worked with this and it actually made my laptop camera improve in quality so much. It
Yeah.
it proves that lighting is more important than anything. Just
Again, the most important thing I think is like the interaction with the viewers. And you said it already. Like if you don't pay attention to the viewers, like you can have the best camera, you can have the best setup, microphone, and everything. If you don't talk to them, it doesn't, or don't interact with them, it doesn't work. And to that topic, there's something very interesting, because I follow this one artist, and they don't use a camera, and they don't use their voice, so they don't have a microphone. But
mm,
still, they average about 20 viewers, because they are chatting themselves in their own chat so much. Like they're drawing, the artist, so it's a lot about like drawing and painting and stuff. Like when someone asks something, they always immediately answer. So there's like, okay, you can interact in so many ways with your viewers. I think the most important thing is interaction, because
yeah.
that's what live streaming is about.
And I've actually watched streams where the streamer himself wasn't like, he was there on screen. I think he was doing some art stuff. He was drawing, but he wasn't like, he didn't have a mic. He just had a camera, so you couldn't hear him. But he was chatting in chat, and it was actually very interactive. And the silence of it made it a bit more magical at some point. Like it, like the just the just the chill atmosphere of him drawing there, and like you hear the pencil scratching the paper and stuff. It actually made me feel very calm and relaxed. There was no one talking through it and anything. It was just a relaxed stream, and he was just chatting in chat.
Like ASMR.
Yeah, it was like ASMR, but it was an art
Yeah,
stream. So like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
some subjects actually like cross each other really fast. And
Yeah,
um,
definitely. That's why we see like a lot um of couples on Twitch as well right now. That's It's super fun
yeah,
because now like they have like one person is gaming and because they're maybe a bit shy, and then the other person, the partner, is like more interactive with chat and like answering the questions and everything. Like I
exactly.
found a married couple and they're playing like I think Pokemon, and like like the wife, she just like loves watching her husband play and also like support like, and then she interacts with the chat while he's like super concentrated in the game, and sometimes he says something, but mostly he's just there to play the game. And he interacts to chat through his wife, like he tells his wife something and then she says like, oh, can you believe what he just said, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's like a super cool
exactly.
combo.
Exactly. It's a great way to uh, use each other's qualities into your stream. And the fun thing is, you actually have a three-way interaction, because what you just said, like he can interact with the chat if he wants to, but he's also interacting with her, and she is also interacting with the chat. I think
Yeah.
we actually just completely explained what streaming is about, because it's all about
Yeah.
interaction and
Yeah.
creating a community that is able to communicate with each other while doing something interesting or not. Maybe you're already interesting enough. I hope I will be interesting enough at some point to, to watch without any content. No, that's just all jokes aside. But
Yeah.
uh,
but
it,
but I think it's very like, yeah, we kind of explain what streaming is about by also explaining like how important setup is, because I think like but because a lot of people think, okay, a technical setup is like important. I saw a TikTok that is very funny as well. Like I saw a TikTok of someone like spending 4,000 euros or $4,000 to buy a gaming PC and then start streaming, and and they linked their Twitch, and I was like, oh, super cool. Okay, let's check this person out. They did have a lot of viewers because they were pretty TikTok famous, and they had like 100 viewers or something. But no one said anything. Like
no,
the chat barely said anything. He didn't interact with chat, and like it was super weird to watch. And that's not, I don't think that's a fun way to watch streams, and I don't think it's a fun way to stream.
yeah, I always wonder what's going on in like at a chat where I see there are like 15 to 20 viewers, and I'm like, okay, that's like a decent amount. I would be happy if I had a consistent viewer base of 20 viewers, especially when you're starting out. And I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, there are 20 people in there. If they are there to share the same interest, they should be fine talking to each other, or at least talking to him streaming the thing they are interested in. And I think that explains that you have to put effort in the interaction. If you're like, as a streamer, not putting enough effort into the connection between you and your community, the community would not react to you, or they wouldn't put anything into you. Like I said earlier, when I started streaming, if people said hi in chat because they liked Dead by Daylight, and they were like, "Hey, a new Dead by Daylight streamer, small streamer. Let's just jump in and see what he is about and if he's fun to watch." They said hi, and like 15 minutes later, I realized they said hi, and I said hi back, but they obviously are gone, because nobody is gonna wait 15 minutes for a response on a simple hello or hi. That's not how this works. If you meet someone on the street who wants to a conversation with you, and they say hi to you, and
Yeah, and
you keep
yeah.
on walking, and like 15 minutes into that walk, you
With
realize, oh, he said hi. I should run back and see if he's still
yeah,
there. Obviously, he's not there. He
yeah, he's
also
not,
keeps
yeah.
continue walking, because that's how
I think
Twitch
that's a
work.
really nice picture of you. I think this is a very nice. I never thought about it like that, but yeah, that's exactly it.
That's
That's
exactly
exactly
how
it.
it is. Nobody is
Yeah,
gonna stand there waiting for you to
yeah,
return on them to say hi
yeah,
again and start a conversation
yeah,
15 minutes late. That's just not how. That's not how
yeah,
society works in general. Like,
yeah.
this isn't
And how should
about
it work
Twitch
on the internet
alone.
then? Yeah. That's only. I think that's only a matter if you're not a big streamer, if you're not like having a consistent your basis, because I think after because you because through like live streaming you socialize with your viewers as well. You start, because you have those conversations, you start to know them. They're not strangers anymore. And then if they're not strangers anymore, you start like that name that popped up in the beginning, that you are like, oh, who's this random person, they start to becoming like a person that you know, that are regulars in your stream. I have some that are regulars on my stream, and I think then the whole interaction thing becomes easier. I think it's just the first, like, to jump over your shadow, to start up interacting with people and regularly interacting with
Yeah.
people. I think after that, after you made that jump, I think it gets easier to interact with viewers.
I actually have a regular right now that's actually came from your stream, so that's like a funny thing to say. And
Yeah.
now he is there the minute the stream starts. He's like there. I actually have a contest between like two viewers that are actually there in the first 10 seconds. Like I pop
Who's
my
the first?
who's the first, and like, hi, I'm first, and then like, haha, no, you weren't, and they're like joking with each other about who was first, and then they're like, I joined when the stream was like on 20 seconds. Oh, I joined when it was 40 seconds. Next time I will win.
I have viewers that then become your viewers, but also like the viewers, they interact with each other as well, right? It's not only about the
True.
interaction between a viewer and a streamer. It's also a lot about the interaction between a viewer and a viewer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's how you build a community, and that's so great, because like of course, like sometimes we talk about like our like my community and your community, but often like the borders between your community and my community are fluent, right? Like it is kind of like our community, because as you said, like one of my regulars is now your regular as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
he actually sometimes
awesome.
says, "Okay, I'm off now. I'm going to leave his stream now." And then I'm like, "Well, he has been here for 3 hours, and now Lee is starting. So he's like moving from mine into yours, because mine will end in about 30 minutes to an hour, and yours is just starting. So he will just be lurking on mine while he will start to interact with you, and then like it will just fluently move into each other."
But I think it's so great, because like the viewers see your dedication to the stream as well, and they dedicate then a similar amount of energy and time to the stream, and it's just magical what then happens on the stream, on the screen.
Exactly.
And I think that's the beauty of streaming.
You becoming a full-time streamer has actually helped you a lot, because you now actually are gaining a lot of popularity, because you're nearly daily streaming. This is your day off, and now you're also making content. So like you're still out there online creating content with me in this case, and it helps you a lot. So I want to talk about you with your full-time job. I'm a part-time streamer. I still have a full-time job besides streaming. So we're going to talk about how to combine those. But I want to talk about your full-time job as a streamer right now, because that's a lot of dedication. It will, like, if you have no full-time job besides your streaming becomes your source of income. You have to pay your rent, your food, your everything from streaming. When and why did you decide to go streaming, and what kept you motivated to keep going? Because like it's a big step into nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it is uncharted waters, basically. Okay, so how did it come to me deciding to become a full-time streamer? I was working full-time as a chef before I streamed, and because of the pandemic, like we had like the hard lockdown and everything since October, and like working as a chef, or not working as a chef, basically was getting more and more stressful to me. So I was kind of unhappy with the job or the direction of my career going as a chef. So I was asking myself, okay, do you want to just sit there and just wait for it to happen, like to be unhappy, or do you like want to take matters in your own hand? And then I started like for full-time content creation was not the first thing that came to mind. Like, don't get me wrong, I was not like waking up, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna do full-time content creation now because I'm so confident in my content. No, I actually thought about like a lot of things like going back to university or learning another craft. Like there are so many ways, or just changing the job place, right? Like
Mhm.
I'm still a chef. I can work everywhere or anywhere.
Yeah, true.
I was thinking about it for a long time, and then I remembered that the thing that brought me the most joy during the pandemic or working like after I come back from work, because like working as a chef without any guests is just like um doing inventory and calculating stuff. I wasn't cooking anything anymore.
Yeah, true.
So I was like super stressed because I wasn't like actually doing my job. I did like miscancelous things like in the hotel, if something had to be repaired or had to be carried around, I did that. So every day when I came home, I was super excited because what did I do when I came home? I started a stream.
Oh, I thought you started cooking because that's what you lacked in the restaurants. But no, you
Yeah,
started
that's true. But
streaming. Okay.
no, I started streaming.
Well,
So I started
you
streaming,
became
and then
your own private chef because you're cooking for yourself, I guess, and then you started streaming.
yes,
So you're,
and then I
yeah.
exactly, and then I started streaming, and I really enjoyed it, and it was always almost every day that I looked forward to coming home and starting to stream. After a long time of thinking, I was like, okay, I think I really want to try to become a full-time content creation.
Hmm.
Now becoming making the decision to become a full-time content creator is easy. You just say, okay, I do content all the day now. But the preparation for it is, or the preparation and the ongoing, give me a second, the preparation to actually be able to do that, because I still have to pay my rent, I still have to buy groceries and everything. That is something different, and I don't think that everyone is able to do that, because I had financially prepared myself for an emergency like this. Over years, over 6 years,
Yeah.
I put aside a lot of money. So I made a plan on how long can I go without making any money through my content, like $0, and how long could I do that before I would have to say, okay, let's go back to part-time streaming and go full-time job again. So the preparation is everything. What you asked was
About
also like,
dedication and motivation, what
yeah,
keeps you going?
my real motivation is to build a community that feels safe, and that where
Mhm.
everyone is like free to say stuff that is on their mind. A wholesome community. A lot of people describe me as being a wholesome streamer, who's very down to earth, but still like trying to motivate people. And I think, yeah, I just want to spread positivity in life. So that's like a huge um, motivation. I want to show people that like content on the internet doesn't have to be like trolling or toxic or something. That it just can be entertainment. It can just be like jokes and fun and yeah, sometimes scares because of a
Yeah,
horror game that
of
I play.
course. It's about the interaction and having fun with each other, and I think that's a great motivation. And I want to
Yeah,
jump in the fact that like you said like you chose to become a full time streamer and you had like the financial backpack for yourself to like keep on going for a certain amount. If I would stop my full time job, which I still have, and I was start become a full time streamer, I think I would last for 4 months before going bankrupt because that's the amount
yeah,
of cost I have by just general rent in the Netherlands,
yeah.
which is expensive, like insanely expensive. Even in the small town where I live, it's insanely expensive. So
That's why a lot of you, yeah,
I wouldn't last for longer than 4 months before going bankrupt and lose my whole household, and I should move back to my parents again. Like yeah, the motivation. My motivation is like the same of yours. I would love to have a community where we could talk about anything. Because I'm a very talkative guy, and that's what I like to do. I like to talk, and I like to talk
that's why we
about.
have a
Yeah,
podcast right
that's why
now.
I started this podcast. Because why not use your own like strengths or your talents to create content with it? Because that's what
Yeah,
I do right now, and I do it part time. I do part time streaming, which yeah takes some of my time away in my spare time, and we're gonna talk about it later. Because obviously, full time streaming and part time streaming, there are like different priorities in how you spend your time.
Yeah,
because
definitely,
I
definitely.
have less time creating
Yeah,
content than you do. So I want to compare those things. And I have another question: like, did you ever consider quitting? Because if I talk about myself, it takes a lot of dedication and hard work to become a streamer in general. Like, if it's part time
yeah,
or full time, doesn't matter how
yeah,
much how much you stream, how much content you create. There will always be a certain point where you're like, it's not working out. I'm just
yeah,
gonna throw it all away and I'm gonna stop. And I think everyone has it at a certain point. Someone
yeah,
can have it like after a week, and someone can have it after a year. And I must say, I hit my affiliate status, which was a very big moment, but I didn't feel satisfied with it. I kept going, but I saw no growth in the beginning, which is like very very hard. It hit me hard, and I actually thought like, what's the point of being an affiliate if you're not growing? So
mm,
there were certain moments where I thought I will just keep on going with full time job. I will just
yeah,
keep on going with a full time job, and I will just stop streaming. But then I thought
yeah,
about, but there are those few people that still watch me, and if I stop streaming now, they will be insanely disappointed.
yeah,
For the
yeah. And
and
sad, yeah,
only if it were for the donations they made. It's like a few euros on a monthly basis, so it's not I'm not a millionaire on anything, but
yeah.
just they donated things, they spent time with me, and
And they showed that all that support.
yeah, they show their support. So who am I to quit on that certain point? It
Yeah,
became a very I thought like, okay, I'm not growing enough. It's really hard. I'm never going to gain any viewers. But I
yeah.
threw that away just by thinking about, I have some viewers and they will be very disappointed in me if I quit now.
It is actually interesting because as a part-time streamer, I never thought about quitting. But then in January, I decided, like end of the year 2020, it was like kind of my New Year resolution to become a full-time streamer, right?
Yeah.
I didn't see, I saw growth. This is the I think paradox thing about this. I saw growth and I saw good growth, like 5 new followers every stream. I
Mm-hmm.
think every stream someone subscribed. I had a good average viewer basis. I was never alone and everything. Like the growth was insanely good, but I think because I said to myself, I want to become a full-time streamer now, I wanted higher growth. So
Yeah.
that growth was not enough for me. So I was like, oh, why don't I grow more? I put so much hours, and we're going to talk about like the time um, consumption, part-time streamer and full-time streamer, and I put so much time in it to increase the quality. Why is my quality not better than the streams of people that are part-time? Why is my growth not better? Why is this not better, that not better? Like there's so many factors around growth and marketing and everything, that there are so many factors that you can't can influence. But in my mind, of course, it was always me. I was not doing good as a content creator because I didn't put enough work into it. I didn't put enough time into it. It started to become so drastic that I even started to sleep less because my brain was like I would go to sleep, and after 2 hours I would wake up because my brain was like, dude, you have to create content. But there's so many things that influence your growth that sometimes you just can't um influence. Like for example, if a regular viewer doesn't come back, it doesn't necessarily have to do with the quality of your content. It
No.
could just be that this person has something to do with their life. They have to work. They are they have something scheduled. They have to visit their parents, whatever.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you start to think like, oh, why is that person not coming back? They
Yeah.
knew I was going to stream today.
Exactly. And they are like, um, I have some viewers from America, and the
Yeah,
time zones between me and them are sometimes a 9 hour difference. Meaning, when I stream at 6 p.m., which I do throughout my work week, um, it means it's like, if I'm all right, it's 9 in the morning for them or something. So their day is starting up just then. They are at work and stuff. So I don't expect them to be there.
Yeah.
And when they are, I'm very grateful. And you talked about growth. There's also a thing I actually witness is when you are shrinking. Which is one of maybe a really demotivating thing if you're really focused on your follower count, which I was at the start, because your following base is like, that's where you start with. You start at 0 and you have to grow from 0 to unlimited amounts. But if it's like decreasing, it hurts you in the feelings one way or another. Especially when you're starting streamer, because you are not relying on your subs yet, because you're maybe not affiliate yet, but like that follower base is a certain number which is free. They come and they go, but when it's only decreasing, it hurts you one way or another. Like I watched that counter go down by 1 every day till a certain point where I was like, okay, wow, I lost like 10 followers in this week. That's rough. What am I doing wrong? That's what I thought to myself. And it doesn't mean I was doing something wrong. Maybe those people were just cleaning up their follower list because they're never watching me, or they are
because the schedule doesn't align or something.
Exactly. And I actually had to take a lot of time to realize that follower count isn't like the most important thing. If you're putting your dedication into it and you work hard and you're actually try to improve, your follower base will eventually grow again. There's no way that you reach 0 followers again at some point. You start with 0 followers, but you will never return to 0 followers ever again. Give me one example of anyone who reached 0 followers after leaving 0 followers.
After having
if you have 1 follower, the moment you have 1 follower, you will never return to 0 followers. I've never seen someone actually losing so many followers that they end up with 0 again.
That's true. If I think about it, like it probably won't happen, and I never now that I think about it, I never knew of someone who started like gaining followers and then coming back to 0 followers. And there are so many reasons why people unfollow you. Again, like maybe the time zones don't align anymore.
Exactly.
They just don't like the content anymore. At the beginning, I started making German content. Like I spoke in German throughout my streams.
I've seen some of your content actually in German. And I don't even speak German, but I was like, well, it sounds interesting and stuff, but it's not.
And like some people like started watching me when I was streaming in German, and they maybe don't like English or something, and then they're like, oh, I okay, he doesn't stream in German anymore, I'm gonna unfollow him, which is also very all right. It got so bad that I decided to, because before I only hid my viewer count. I don't know if you do that, but I do hide my live view account, because I feel like if I have it on, it has a negative effect on my mental health.
I don't hide it, because I have learned to not
look at it or
focus on the viewer count anymore. I do sometimes shout it out when I realize there are about 20 people in my chat, and I'm like, holy damn, where did this come from? And then I'm like, I'm all hyped up, and then I mention it being there, and then people are like hyped with me because they're happy for me that we hit like a certain milestone of 20 viewers at one stream.
That's good, but like for me it was like the opposite direction. For me it was like I would see that and it would be like, oh, I only have like this amount of viewers, and I would be like, oh, only so many viewers are like watching me, and like I would like get like demotivated. So I turned that down, and I feel very comfortable with it. And then and now I even turned down the follower count on stream after the stream, because again, full-time content creator, I have to watch the numbers. How is the growth? Am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? So I do watch the numbers after the stream.
I already talked about the fact that it's like kind of time consuming, or it needs dedication and hard work. So let's talk about the time we spent online when streaming, but also offline, because streaming isn't all only about going live and go and stream for a certain amount of hours and then go offline, then be like, "Now I'm done for today. Let's go sit back and relax because we're done." Because that's actually the thing I realized when I started streaming. Streaming isn't only about the moment you're alive. It's about everything. It's about being live and then everything around it, besides the fact you're alive. So, yeah. How much time did we spend streaming when we started out? Well, that's I can keep it really short. Too much. Like too much. I streamed when I started streaming. I streamed every night. I was actually a full-time streamer with a full-time job besides the full-time streaming, which is not working out. Like, it will drain your energy, and you will have no energy left to you will have no energy left to do your normal job anymore, or to spend time with friends, which is very bad.
I streamed when I started part-time. I streamed 2 to 3 hours per stream, and 3 times a week. That's all I streamed. That's like 6 to 9 hours
Oh,
that I would actively stream. I wouldn't stream that much.
did you have a schedule when you started out? Like, did you have certain days?
No. I didn't have certain days, but I did it like this. So I had to work 4 days a week because I was doing night shifts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes, and then I would do, in the 3 days that I would have off, I would do a 2 to 3 hour stream. But because I still had to keep the schedule of the night shifts, my night shift starts at 9 p.m. And that's why I started streaming at 9 p.m. so that my body would not lose the rhythm of the night shifts. Right? I changed for a short time. I changed my schedule to 6 p.m. like you. And no one would watch me because, as you already said, for most of them, they would be at work or even still sleeping.
And it's really fun that you talk about that schedule, because I recently, like a few months back, I changed it, because I was always streaming from 9 p.m. till 1 a.m. or something, or 12 p.m. So a 3 to 4 hour stream, depending if I had much fun or a day off afterwards. I did realize, though, I don't have much day off. So I have 1 day off and my weekends, and like my streaming days are still in the middle of the week. And I realized I couldn't sleep very well when I instantly went from streaming to bed, because you're still, like, your brain is still active, thinking about what happened to stream and how can you improve and how can you do things better and stuff. And I after, I think, a half year of streaming, I realized I have to change things up. But when and how, and I also realized that a lot of streamers I watched were streaming at the same time slots that I was streaming at. So I was not particularly losing viewer counts, but the potential of gaining viewers in that specific time slot is very hard, because there are like a million streamers there, right there.
Yeah. That's the fun thing, because like I did something similar when I was doing this part-time. I had like this 3 hours maximum rule, and I only did that, and after that I still worked on content. So because we already talked about this, like, streaming is not only about going live and doing this, but like also improving the stream offline, creating content offline, for example, for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, Twitter. And I would then work on that, but I would always have like this certain type of schedule, and I think that worked well for me, not overly well, because again, like my personal growth started, like my biggest growth so far started when I decided to become full-time. Like January was nuts,
I saw that.
because of course I have like a different possibility of contributing my time to different things. For example, I stream for 6 hours,
Mm-hmm.
so that's like 6 hours of um or like it's maximum 6 hours, but it's like 4 to 5 hours, and where I can connect with the viewers, where I can be visible. Of
Okay.
course, like creating other content is also very important, and you just have the time and energy to fully concentrate on that because it's so time consuming. We also talked about this off stream. You're not like the type of person that is like a lot on social media. Fun fact: before I decided to stream, especially before I decided to full time stream or full time content create, I was not big on social media as well.
No, but
I
I
didn't
am on
post.
social
Yeah,
media. I am on
yeah.
social media, but I'm not the
The
funny
guy
guy.
yeah, you're
I'm
not the guy that take pictures of your food and puts it on Instagram.
no,
You're
that's
not the type of guy that goes onto Twitter and posts a philosophical quote, or you ask like stuff that is a hot dog a sandwich, for example. Like all these are like things that you try to do to get an interaction out. um
exactly.
and you don't concentrate on that, which is totally fine. But me as a content creator, there's only so many overlays that I can put in, right? Like I can't
I
change
think
my overlay.
I
uh,
think that like me not being as socially active on social media is mainly because I have this full-time job, so I'm not able to be on Discord day in day
yeah,
out for
you
hours and
can
hours. I can't
you can
respond to every message, and I can't be active in many of the Discords
yeah,
where
yeah,
I'm part of. uh,
yeah,
as much as I want, I can't interact with all of them at the same time because I'm also working. And on
yeah,
Twitter, I'm not the I my personality isn't about being the funny guy. I like to
yeah,
talk with people, and that's where my core talent and personality is. And
yeah,
I am not I'm just not the one that's posting funny memes or funny quotes or
yeah,
a physiological quote. I would ask random like a question to my community to see like, hi, how do you think about this, and are you interested in certain things like this?
yeah.
And they
Do you
can
like
get
anime or do you like Assassin's Creed?
exactly, and like things I'm interested in. I will ask like, does anyone have more experience with this or not? Like I would
Yeah,
ask certain questions, and I do announcements about improvements I make to my stream, but also when I stream and stuff. And some people think, yeah, if your Twitter is all about hi, I'm live, come and watch me, then your Twitter is nothing more than a shout out board for yourself. And I'm like, yeah, true. Like, but I'm not ashamed to shout out my own stream because it's my Twitter, and I think that's a platform where I want to share my stream.
sure.
And
Yeah, yeah,
um,
definitely.
and besides that, I announce improvements and stuff so people can see I'm improving. And the questions I ask is to connect with people that have the same interest. So it's not like I said earlier, I'm not about the funny memes and the funny guys and the jokes and stuff. And if you want to have a laugh, maybe you should follow someone else. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's and you said something very correctly. Like you can't, like if you have a full-time job. Again, know that because I was the same as you a month or some month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just not possible because again, like you have work, and while you work, people are still being active, and you like some people live in America, some people live in Asia, some people live in Europe. You can't, you just it's just physically almost impossible to spend time with everyone. But as a like if you are full time, it is kind of your job if you're not online to still interact with people. it's it's not necessary, like you don't have to do this, but that way you strengthen the bond that you have. So what's the pro and cons of being a full-time content creator and a part-time content creator? That's
Yeah,
the question.
compared to each other. If you like,
Yeah, compared to each
I
other.
am the part-time streamer with a full-time job,
Yeah,
and you are the full-time
yeah.
streamer with no
Okay,
other
yeah,
jobs.
yeah. Okay, then the first thing I would say, the con and the like the pro for you and the con for me is stable income. That's a huge quality of life. That's super important. Like it's not crippling to me because again, I thankfully I have the ability and the financial like security to do this. But of course, it's like a constant thing in the back of your head that you're like, oh, I have to pay stuff. Like I
Mm-hmm.
have to pay the bills. And I think as a part-time streamer, you don't have that because you're like okay, I have my job. What
About
else?
pros for me and
Yeah,
cons for no cons for me and pros for you. Um, time,
yeah,
just time in general, because um, the things I do as a streamer are all besides my full time job. You say my full time job is a big pro for me, which is financially, but it's a big con for me time wise, because
yeah,
I get at home um, at past 5 p.m. or something, and then I will most likely the days I stream, I would order a meal or I would prepare a meal from the day before. I will just put it in
yeah,
the microwave and then eat really fast, get it all done, and at 6 p.m. I'm live because that's how my
yeah,
life is now working.
yeah. Do you have time? Like, do you have a lot of time to play games besides streaming?
Yes.
Because normally the time that you spend for streaming, I think before streaming you would have spent with playing games, possibly, or watching a movie or
In
something.
this case, no. I sometimes game after my streams because my streams are pretty early, 6 p.m.,
Yeah,
6 p.m. to
yeah,
10 p.m. And after 10 p.m., I will play one or two more games and then I go to bed.
yeah. Because
So,
because
yeah.
for me, like when I was doing night shifts and I would do um the streaming, I would then also like not game afterwards because I would like improve the stream or like watch videos, educational videos for increasing the quality of my stream and stuff like that. And then I would like, yeah, maybe I would play like one or two games of League of Legends or any other games.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also so many games that I haven't even started yet because of streaming, because I was like, oh, I want to play them on stream, you know?
A perfect example, I bought Assassin's Creed Valhalla and I
Mm.
made a YouTube series out of that, but that my files got corrupted, so I had to replay the whole playthrough to get to the point where I didn't do that because I wasn't motivated enough to
Yeah,
replay everything and then re-record like 4 hours of footage, which I just had edited and stuff, and that's a game that's still lying there. Well, I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan, don't get me wrong, but for some reason it's just not like it didn't work out for me. It's not like
yeah. And it's unmotivating when a project fail, like maybe not fails, but yeah,
it
it
didn't
kind of gets.
exactly fail, but when your files get corrupted, you have to
Yeah,
restart everything, which costs you at least like 8 to 12 hours again. And then I'm just
yeah,
talking about the recording and editing stuff, and uploading it and stuff. That's just rough. Um, but yeah,
it's unmotivating.
it's time consuming. Nobody is ever going to tell you that streaming isn't time consuming because it is online and offline. It's everywhere. Like if you choose to stream, it will consume time, especially when you're a part-time streamer like me.
Yeah,
And it also costs you a lot of time, but it's your job, so you're like willing to spend your time
again,
because it's a job. You have
yeah,
to, you
again,
do to
like
it.
a lot of things, like a lot of times when I'm not streaming like on Twitch or something, I'm still spending time on my Discord server, which is like almost, yeah, I think it's like almost my main social media, because my Discord server has become like some kind of like my personal um social media.
Mm-hmm.
So I post like stuff on there, like what you said, memes, TikToks, videos. I create other content like YouTube's, then I have to distribute that as well. Like you have to concentrate on so many things. I think as a streamer, what people don't understand is as a streamer, you're not only an entertainer. That's your main thing, or the most the thing that the most people see, that you're an entertainer, because you
Yeah.
go onto the stage and you just like do your show, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what the people don't see is like like the production value behind it.
Actually, everything I do is in time slots. Yeah, I have to plan everything out very specifically to like make it all work together because there's no room for adjustments or anything.
And I think, and yeah, and I think I have a lot more freedom when it comes to that. Like because I'm doing this full time, I have a lot more freedom. I can tell myself, okay, these are the goals for the day. this is what I want to do, and then I can slowly work towards it. And I like it is not like if I eat my lunch like 30 minutes longer, like that's not a problem for me. But if you spend 30 minutes less with your girlfriend because you need 30 minutes more to improve your content or something,
Yeah.
she's gonna be mad at
Yeah,
some
she's got
point.
like what? Yeah, it's like recording a game thing or streaming, like you're doing a game, and I would cut my stream short to like meet up with my girlfriend, just because like in the end my girlfriend is worth more for me than my stream. Yeah, like I'm
I mean,
sorry for everyone and everything I disappoint right now, but that's
yeah.
just a fact. It's the truth, and I'm very honest with it right
Like the
now.
life of your parents is more important, or family is more important
Yeah,
than gaming.
exactly. And if you like switch those around, there's something wrong with your priorities.
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely.
to round it all out, I think we talked about everything about streaming and our own experience, and we talked about the fact that streaming is all about entertaining value and putting um, time into it. It's hard work and stuff, and it's not especially about the content you create. It's about the community and the connection you make with your viewers, and I think that's a good thing where we can just end this podcast. And
Yeah.
first of all, you are also a Twitcher, as you mentioned, and a YouTuber. Where
Yeah.
are people able to find you when they want to watch your content?
Yeah, so if you want to find me on Twitch, you can do that on twitch.tv Tranhlee. There's an H in. I guess people call me Tran H Lee sometimes. But yeah, so you can find me on Twitch. You can find me on YouTube as well, under also the tag Tranhlee, and on Twitter at Tranhlee.
Make sure to follow him on his Twitch channel. I will put his links in the description as well as for his YouTube. For my own, I'm also streaming on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. HatchetOrHatch on Twitch. All links are down below in the box. I'm not even sure how it's called, but sure. Well, make sure to follow everyone, both of us, on our channels. Subscribe if you want. Leave a comment, especially if you. I'm very curious about what you think about this podcast, this whole concept. Let me know what we can improve, or which I can improve, because I think Tran would not be here next podcast. Maybe he will return if by popular demand. You never know. Just let me know what you thought about him as being the first guest ever. Yes, so I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you, Lee, and see you next time. Ciao.
Bye.